Welcome. This is Suzanne,
Lauri, Susan,
Roxie.
and we are Three Old Broads and a Lady. This is Suzanne.
This is Roxie.
This is Susan.
And this is Lauri. And today we're going to talk about work and play. How do we define work? How do we define play? What do we do? Do we do more work or do we play more? Or can we play and work at the same time?
Sure.
So let's go. What does somebody have to say?
Well, I know that between the generations, there's a difference in how much work you should do as opposed to how much play you should do. We can probably guess which one of the generations does more work than they do play.
That would definitely be us.
That's the boomers for sure.
Yeah.
In fact, it's thought that that boomers, more than any of the other current generations, consider their work as their identity more than anything else in their lives. But then the Gen X's also are bigger workers too, because they're probably closer to our age, and so they're still
Because they got it from us.
yeah, I guess so. I don't know, but they were the Gen X were sort of like the first generation that started going, oh, wait a minute, I don't want to be a workaholic all my life. I don't want to work 90 hours a week, and so they started like making a little bit of a change. The millennials, 65% of millennials think that work-life, ratio that emphasizes the fact that you have to have, a good balance is more important than pay when they're looking for a job. So, and then Gen Z, of course, they're younger, they're 18 to 28, but they want to get to the top of their career fast. They want to move around. They don't want to have to stay in the same job for a long time, and they want to have a lot of flexibility as far as their hours are. They don't want to have to come into the office, all of those things. So personal time and leisure is becoming more and more important as the generations descend, I guess. And I don't know if that's just because when you're 18 years old, you're not as serious about things, and you really do think that you can progress through your job, up to the top really fast. And maybe it's just the fact that baby boomers are going, you know what? I had to work hard for this, and I'm going to keep working hard for whatever it is that I'm going to value.
Well, one of the things that's interesting is in a lot of the other countries, they're more like the Gen Zers. It's more about leisure time than it is about work. They take like 3-hour lunches. In France, when they go to lunch, they go and they relax and they have lunch and they take their vacations. They're definitely not like boomers. They don't work through breaks. They do take time off. It's interesting to me that all of a sudden the U.S., they think people in the U.S. just overwork. Most countries feel that way.
Well, when we were still in the workforce, I remember reading somewhere that in Germany, you take 10 weeks of vacation a year.
Yeah.
It was like 10 weeks.
Yeah.
First of all, it took me like 10 years to get up to 3 weeks of vacation. And then, I scripted and saved and worked around them because that's what we thought we should do. But yeah, we are kind of like nose to the grindstone generation. I think others are loosening up a little bit.
Delayed gratification?
Yeah, delayed gratification. Well, now that we're retired, I'm beginning to think they may have something there.
I don't know. I work more now than I did when I was working.
But do you like the work you're doing now?
That's the thing.
I liked the work I was doing when I was working.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right.
I didn't particularly like the administration, but I liked the work I was
Well,
doing.
that kind of goes with a lot of that.
Does anybody ever like their bosses?
Never.
I had bosses that I liked a lot. I'm still friends with.
I had bosses I liked a lot, but I always worked in a big corporate kind of thing. So there were lots of Neanderthals above us, that made your life difficult.
Yeah, somewhere there was a guy in an office, just, thinking,
how can I
make
today?
people more miserable today than yesterday?
Yeah. My own boss in my department was good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about the administrators.
Right. Yeah, the
I'm
administrators.
talking about the idiots they hire that have the IQ of a dirt clod.
Yeah, somebody's brother-in-law.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
But they do, those dirt clods, they rise to the top every time,
Yes,
don't
they do.
And why is that? Because they're probably not good enough to do the job that all of us menials do. That's the, on the ground, boots on the ground job. So they have to rise up higher because it always seemed to me, at least in education, that the people that became the principals and the vice principals and especially the counselors were people that really didn't like the kids very much and didn't want to have to be in the classroom and deal with them.
Exactly.
They wanted
Yeah.
at most to deal with them one-on-one.
I think you're right. That was the experience I had as well.
We're going to have to ask Greg Stokes about that. I'm talking about you, Greg Stokes.
Yeah, there we are.
Was he principal of a school? No.
No, he was
He was a counselor.
he
Oh,
was a
counselor.
yeah.
Okay.
But no, they always had the Peter principle. You rise to your own level of incompetence.
Incompetence. Yeah. Exactly.
It's like,
So
so
if
keep
you're-
pushing you up until you're not in the way of people who are doing the work that you should be doing.
That's right. So if you're supremely competent, then you'll never progress.
That's kind of true. That's kind of true. Oh, we can't lose you. We can't promote you because who would do your job? And it's like, well, I want to maybe make more money then.
Yeah.
So I have my niece who doesn't listen to this. Well, my niece is like that. She's really good at the work she does, and other people have been promoted, but she hasn't. But they're only supposed to get a raise once a year. She gets a raise twice a year,
Aha.
and it's substantial.
They want to keep her.
So yeah, they want to keep her awful bad doing what she's doing.
Yeah. Well, that's nice when there's somebody who appreciates you. Usually the ones above you that aren't doing the job and don't understand the job look askance at anyone who knows what they're doing because they think you're after their job. No, I don't want it. I don't want
I
it.
don't want your job, but I can call you out.
But I can tell you're not doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's every now and then something like that happens where the people at the top recognize somebody who's really doing a good job down there. There's like the cream filling in between that's useless.
The strata. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. The one thing that kind of gripes me a little bit these days is the delayed gratification thing. Is that was what we grew up with. And so you say you scrimp and you save and you say, I want to buy a house. And then when you're 40, like me, you're able to buy a house. And they say, oh, this is great. And the thing is, we got people in the generations behind us. They're saying, well, we can't afford to buy a house, which right now I can believe that. I mean, I can see how terrible the house market is. But you save. It's saving everything. They spend their money when they get it. I mean, these people go and they used to. They don't do this anymore, but they used to go and spend 2 nights out on the sidewalk to get the first iPhone or the next iPhone that's there, and that's a couple of $1,000, and it has all these bells and whistles, and you go, well, no wonder you can't buy a house.
Yeah.
And then of course the fancy vacations, the cruises,
I was just gonna
dinners out.
The vacations. I know so many younger people that are constantly going on out of the country trips and stuff like that. You're looking at and with a family.
Yeah, they take the whole crowd of the kids and everything.
And I'm like, just me. The trips that I do, they run between $4,000 and $6,000. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, so no wonder you don't have a whole lot left over for a down payment.
Yeah.
And but everything is more expensive these days. It's ridiculous.
Okay.
But I guess we have to deal with it. But anyway, I was thinking about the best story of this delayed gratification thing. 3 Little Pigs. The 2 little pigs that played around all the time. The big bad wolf came around and blew their houses down. It couldn't blow down the house made out of bricks. And that pig, they used to laugh at him all the time.
That's
So
right.
that's a good definition for delayed gratification. Anyway, so enough of that.
Well, the generations also have differences in what they like to do when they're not working.
Mm-hmm.
Gen Z likes to do gaming and social media and listening to music. When they go traveling, they like to do gig tripping. Do you know what gig tripping is?
No, I haven't heard of that.
Neither did I, but now I do. And I'm
Sure.
about to enlighten you all.
Oh, yeah.
Gig tripping is when you're going to a location for a certain purpose, to go to a concert but like you live in California, but you go to New York to see a concert or something like that.
To go to Broadway and see.
Yeah, something like that. But usually it's like a special event, not just like, not even like, we're going to be in New York City. We'll see some Broadway shows, but more like a Keith Urban concert, and we're going to go to Australia just for that, So, and that's what.
Oh, like Taylor Swift?
Yeah.
People went to Europe to see Taylor Swift doing the same concert she did here. But it was cheaper. The tickets were cheaper in Europe. But look, you had to go to Europe. I mean, come on, it cost a lot of money.
Well,
but they enjoyed themselves. So
that's right. So, but they don't want to. They don't go, oh, let's just go traveling. Instead, it's like, it's got to be attached to some gig, some event. That's Gen Z. The millennials have the most vacation days of all of the generations. They like to travel. They're one of the big groups that like to do things that has to do with fitness and wellness. And that kind of makes sense because they're in that middle age range. So they're starting to feel, I better take care of my body.
I think with millennials, I think they're more into health anyway. I think that's part of their culture is health, because I know a couple of the millennials that I work with were very much into health. Only wild caught fish, a lot of produce. I mean, that was just their ideology.
Millennial. Oh yeah, we're still talking millennials. They also like playing things like cornhole and board games and social things where you're, rather than sitting online or something like that, they like to be with other people and do that kind of thing. They also like to have DIY things, especially home improvement, that kind of thing. Gen X, 30% say that family time is their most important leisure. They do like to travel and read. And TV, actually, across all the generations, TV was the most common thing that all of the generations like to do. And I guess because it's just easy and it's something you do every day, perhaps, Boomers, they like gardening, golf, and bird watching. I've never done bird watching.
I've never done any of that stuff.
I've never done bird watching. I can't stand golf. And I pull weeds. That's my gardening.
Oh, yeah. I'm not a gardener.
No, nor am I.
In my garden, dandelions are welcome. They are. I never pull up
dandelion wine.
No, I think they're beautiful. Don't you think the flowers?
They are.
Oh, when they make the little puff balls, they're not quite as beautiful. But so
blow them in your neighbor's yard. Pick them and.
But
no, you get the dandelions.
If they scatter on mine, then I get all those beautiful yellow flowers. So I never pull dandelions.
I don't mind those yellow flowers. I just don't like them in my lawn.
Mm-hmm.
I like them everywhere else, but not in my lawn.
I remember when I was a kid, we'd come home from school and Mom was not in the house. She's in the backyard picking weeds out of the grass. We had dichondra.
Oh yeah, good old dichondra.
Oh, I always used to say if there's grass in heaven, it's dichondra.
It's dichondra, yeah.
And it was so incredible because it's a little tiny leaves.
Okay,
and you stuck your toes in between there and you're running around. Oh, it felt so nice and cool, even on the hottest of days.
We had friends. My parents had some friends that they had known since the 40s, and when we came back out to California, we went to their house several times. They lived right down in East Whittier there, and the whole yard was dichondra. And any time that you went over there, as we pulled in, you would see Butch, the guy, out there in the yard just picking little weeds out of the. It was pristine. His yard was pristine, And my mom used to say, Butch and Melba have such a nice yard. And my dad would go, yeah.
And look what they have to do to make it.
Because my dad was in no way going to go out and pick weeds out of any kind of grass, much less
I
dichondra.
think that most of the houses in this tracting unit over here had dichondra
Uh-huh.
because we had it in our front yard. But my dad finally got fed up with it, and he planted what's the one?
St. Augustine grass?
Yes. See, I can't remember the names.
What was wrong with dichondra?
Saint
it is
dichondra?
true. This was a very 50s.
It's nice, but it's really hard to take care of.
It is.
It's
Yeah.
timing.
It takes a lot of
It's
water
really
and
hard
it
to
takes
take
a
care
lot
of.
of
'Cause my grandmother
getting
had
on.
it too. And when I moved into her house, we'd be back there trying to mow it and stuff, and it just died. It just died, and I'm like, all right, let's throw something else on here.
Uh-huh.
Now,
Well-
in my yard, there is much diversity, which is right. I don't want to be just a single type of grass. I have every type of grass there is, including the dandelions. My daughter came over and threw clover seeds around, and so I have clover, but I don't have any one kind at all.
Well, neither do I. I always tell people when I'm going to mow my front lawn, I'm going to go mow the weeds because it's 99% weeds and then about 4 different types of grasses.
Right. It's true.
Once it gets cut, it looks nice and green. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
I guess
does.
so.
Well, and it's very difficult to keep it nice because Shelley was saying during the last show, she was saying that she had a really nice yard. She'd gotten it resided and everything. And now there's weeds and everything. She says, because there's gardeners that cover several houses in the area on the same day. She says, and they just go from one lawn to the next. She says, so they cut all the weeds and the guy next door, and then they come over and they roll that same roller over my yard.
Yeah, I guess.
They're just passing
so
it.
it's my fault that everybody else
Has all the same
has
lawn.
weeds in their lawn because of me.
I
would never
take
say
no
that.
blame because I mow my own lawn. So
Do
my
you?
lawnmower doesn't go anywhere but in my yard.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
I have
out
a
of
guy
my-
who comes in and mows my lawn. Back in the day when I was younger and not as rich and not as didn't have a lot of time, then our lawn was the one on the block that got a little rangy, And I remember that the lady next door one day said came up to me and said, I just want to get a hold of your lawn and I want to plant some other stuff and I want to cut it and all that kind of stuff. And anyway, she didn't, and it stayed rangy. And but now I have Elias J. Solano that comes every week and cuts the lawn for me.
Yeah, but the last word on dichondra was a miracle. Anyway, my neighbor wanted me to cut down the ash tree that I had, which cooled off my house in the summer. It was the perfect place for this ash tree to just block out the afternoon sun and what have you. And I didn't want to cut it down,
Well,
but
what was
she was
your neighbor's
freaking out about her. She was just freaking out about it. She thought, oh, we get a big wind. It's going to blow over and it's just going to break my house in two. If it falls across the lawn. And so I finally said, okay. So I cut it down. It cost me like $2,000. And this was a long time ago.
Mhm.
Well, the next spring, all of a sudden, dichondra popped up again. Now, we hadn't had dichondra lawn for 20 years. Easy.
It was-
At 25,
Couldn't grow
30
anything.
maybe. And all of a sudden, I called my sister. I said, you're not going to believe this. I'm sending you a picture of the lawn. And she says, well, where'd you get that? And I said, that's what's growing in the yard. So all of these dichondra seeds apparently had been dormant for like 30 years. And now they were getting sun again. And they came up and I'd go out every day and just run my little feetsies through there. And oh, my toes enjoyed it a lot. But then it died. So because I'm not a gardener either, and I'm not going to mess with this. And so my friend Jeannie, you know Jeannie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she has a beautiful yard, big yard. And someday you should drive by that. It's a little cul-de-sac. You can just, drive by her house.
I wonder why I'm stalking her house.
No, actually she wouldn't know. But anyway, yeah, it's beautiful. And the backyard's pretty nifty too. All that's where she does all the planting and that stuff. But the front yard is like, home and garden kind of thing. It's really, really nice. And I just go, okay, well, you do your thing and I'll think of something else for me to do when it comes to work and play. Gardening, work.
Mhm.
But that's her play. She likes to do that.
But it's funny that the three things that are mentioned for boomers are three things that none of us do.
I don't do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you played golf.
Occasionally, I'm not good at it. But yes, I do like it. Yeah, but bird watching now, my sister and her husband are big bird watchers.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I think they're some of those people that go out and count the birds,
Oh,
once a year and all that kind of stuff. So, I guess there are those of us in the boomer age range that do bird watching. I just thought that was kind of an interesting thing to know, since I've never been bird watching ever once.
No.
But another thing that boomers like is extreme sports more than any of the other generations. Things like whitewater rafting and
zip
jumping
lining,
out, zip lining and jumping out of planes and all that kind of stuff.
Not jumped out of a plane yet.
You haven't?
No. I have zip lined in Costa Rica. I whitewater rafted by Victoria Falls on the Zambezi River. Yeah, all that stuff. Did parasailing in Zhuatanejo.
Victoria Falls, and was that in Africa?
Yeah.
And you went, what? What did you do?
Whitewater rafting down the Zambezi River.
Wow.
Yeah, with the crocodiles and
with the
stuff
crocodiles.
like that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be doing that.
Yeah, although the thing of it is that the crocodiles don't go in the area where the rapids are because of the water.
Oh.
So.
Oh yeah, it's all
if
it's got rocks
in the rapids. You're okay as long as you don't drown.
See, the crocodile.
I've seen the African Queen. I don't want to do that.
Yeah. That's close enough to whitewater rafting for you.
So then, Suzanne, you're one of the ultimate boomers. Then,
Yeah.
Well,
X Games boomer.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing of it is that I think it's that adrenaline rush. It's like being manic.
This is a person who rode a motorcycle in her youth and was arrested by the police when she was 5. Remember that?
That's right. That's right.
So, that could be a tip to why she's so adventurous now.
Well, I don't do sports. I'm not very good at anything sport-wise. And I said, "Oh, well, I like to do plays." And they said, "Well, that's not sports. I mean, don't you do something that gets your adrenaline up or, meet the challenge?" I said, "Okay, you are in a play with some other people, and there's people in the audience that paid to see you do a play. You don't think that's a challenge, that you can get through it without people knowing out in the audience that something happened?"
Okay,
and then somebody feeds you the wrong line.
Oh.
And then you have to somehow dance around what they just said to you and turn it into what the right line should have been.
Or
That happened to me the other day.
Oh, it did?
Yes,
it did?
did.
Oh my God.
It just goes completely silent on stage. And nobody knows.
And the more people in the play, or at least the more people that are on the stage at the same time, like the play you just finished, that it's going to happen like in the 12 Angry Men or 12 Angry Jurors. There was 11 angry jurors at one point because somebody skipped a very important part of the play. It was a page and a half. And so it wasn't going to turn out. And talk about a challenge.
That's right. That gets the adrenaline pumping.
That really moves you. You say, well, what do we do?
When you're backstage,
Yeah.
there's a long pause. You're going, what's going on? What's happening?
Oh, no.
Who forgot their line? What's happening?
It's like the trumpet or the bugle in Arsenic and Olaus, and somebody didn't place the bugle. And I heard this.
That was Frank's fault. He's responsible for his own prop.
I guess.
And he came out and went.
Yeah,
he put his. I went. What in the world?
Put his fingers in front of his lips and but I heard someone going up the stairs or down the stairs or something to get the bugle, but it was too late. And so it was just
and then I'm trying to get hold of Gabe. I'm hitting the call button on.
Well, he was the one that was running up the stairs.
Well, he looks at his microphone thing and he goes, "I'm not answering that." And he knew it was me.
Yeah. So I think that doing a play, I mean, that's got adrenaline flowing and challenging everything. You want to make sure the audience doesn't really realize that they're, well, something's going on that isn't supposed to be.
It's we're talking about what we do for fun. It's just the work fun dichotomy. Whatever it is that you do for fun. When we were working, we were still doing like theater and stuff, and I always found it to be really relaxing because when the job that I had was this very long I was an administrator in this big construction company, and they had these projects that went on for years, literally years and years, and nothing changed but the cycle, the task number, and you just kept going. And so it was just day after day. And then you'd go down to the theater and you'd audition a show, you'd build the set, you'd rehearse the show, you'd put it on, you'd tear the whole set down when it was over and sweep the stage. And it was like you were never there. And it was like 6 weeks, this whole cycle in just 6 weeks. And there was something incredibly satisfying about just finishing a job.
The job well done.
Yeah. And for
most of the time.
Years and
forever
years and years
ever.
and never having it
Yeah.
finished.
So for me, I found that to be just exactly what I needed as a work-life balance, because it balanced out, because a lot of other things in your life, you have children, they stay forever until they're like 18, and then they go away and they never come back. Well, they don't call.
Sometimes they do come
Well,
back.
Sometimes they do.
No, but I mean, it's just everything else in life takes such a long time. But as boomers, we stayed at the same job for such a long time.
Yeah, that's
Now,
true.
In the next few generations, they don't stay at the job so long. Most of the time, the job leaves them. Things change so quickly
These days.
You have to be prepared to jump sideways to get to something if you're in the market today, because it's not going to. Your job isn't going to be there forever. Whatever it is you're doing right now, in 10 years, it won't even exist.
Yeah, it used to be the job was the job that you did, but
Right.
Now, who knows? Next month it might be different.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll be replaced by AI.
Oh, gosh.
Well, I don't know. AI is a double-edged sword. It has good stuff on it and bad stuff on it, and we have to find out what it's going to be. How much?
Well, it would be good.
What's the ratio between that and good and bad on that?
It would be good if we found out about that before we run into the bad stuff head on and say, "Oh, cripes!"
Or
how do we get
just
out
like
of this?"
look ahead if you can for
I'm sorry.
2 weeks and see.
Did you not ever see Terminator?
Right.
I've seen Terminator.
Skynet is
Yeah.
live. Yeah.
And remember the Colossus the Forbin project.
Oh, yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That one was kind of scary. At the end of the movie, you go, "Oh, you were expecting it to wind up. We win," but we didn't.
We didn't.
I remember I was sitting there with my boyfriend, and we both looked at each other and said, "This is the end of the movie. It's like the end of us." Oh no.
Well, that's the other thing, and we all saw Jurassic Park. Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. And nobody seems to have picked up on that one yet either. So it's like
Should be a famous quote for sure.
oh God, it should be on samplers embroidered in every home. It's like, I don't know.
In every AI lab.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Just because you can doesn't mean you should.
What was his name? Malcolm? Ian Malcolm?
Yeah.
That was the character.
no.
He was the chaos man.
Oh, yeah.
Everything's going to wind up in chaos.
Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There you go.
I thought he's got a nightclub, and he
Really?
he entertains at a nightclub in Hollywood.
Jeff Goldblum?
Yeah.
What happened?
What is that?
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm my phone's in the car, so I can't look.
No, well,
It
yeah,
hit 30 and then started again.
maybe it did.
Oh no, really?
Well, I don't know.
Then have we done 32 minutes?
We have done 30 minutes and 30 seconds.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Oh wow, I have a lot more to go. We'll have to do more of this some other time, I guess.
I guess so.
gosh, that was a quick 30.
Yeah. And Susan's got
I
the
hope
whole-
for our listeners as well.
Yeah, me too.
Well, heavens. Okay.
And Susan, you have a whole extra page. I only have a little bit.
And I have nothing.
Okay.
And I have
Well,
a timer. So,
Okay, so until next time, I hope everybody, finds plenty of time to play. But, we all have to work, but have fun playing, whatever you like to play.
Join us next time. When we, again, won't know what we're talking about.
But that's not going to
Even
stop
when we
us.
have the subject, we don't know
Nothing
what we're
will stop
talking
us.
about. Okay, so this is Suzanne.
This is Lauri.
This is Susan.
This is Roxie.
And
We are
Three old broads and a lady.